Hi everybody, and welcome to another Fiberific live craft and chat. This week I'm going to be weaving in some ends as my craft. I am not finished this blanket, but I needed a break from the torment of the edges, so I thought I'd start weaving in some of the 11 million ends it has, so that I had once I got through the edge, then it would be done and I wouldn't have to worry about all of the 4,000 ends that need to be done, because they're mostly done. If I don't get them all done, I don't care, but getting a lot of them out of the way would be really, really nice right now. So today is a special day for me and my husband. It is our 15th wedding anniversary. In the card that he wrote me this morning, it was like, how did we make it to 15 years? And the thought that went through my head was, it was like, you're lucky you made it that long. There are moments, everybody, there are moments. But I was thinking about it sort of over the last week, because we had a big discussion about, what are we going to buy for our anniversary present sort of thing. We do normally buy each other separate gifts. And this year we sort of both came together and it was like, oh, I can't think what to get you. I honestly don't know what to get that I think you would like, because I had this one idea, and then Abby, who was our intermediary, was like, no, he doesn't want that. So it was like, oh, this is frustrating. So we had this discussion. We ended up buying a PlayStation 4 and a VR setup. So we've been playing with that for about a week. So about a week early. And then he was all like, you remember that we've already done the anniversary presents? I'm like, yep, it's fine. It's totally good. Don't even worry about it. And then this morning I've gone to get up, and he goes, no, wait. And I'm like, what? And he goes, just wait. And I'm like, I've got to get up. It's school morning. And so then he's run it out and come back in with Abby, and they'd bought me a little box of chocolates. So I felt really bad because I did nothing, because we already did it. So anyway, that was my morning. I have not even opened the chocolates. I've left them at home. They're safe and sound. Unless, of course, the dogs can get to them. I didn't think of that. I might have to pop home and make sure they're safe. Good morning to everybody. How are you all going? So, one of the things I wanted to mention today, there's lots of things to mention, but one of the things I really wanted to mention was that today is the last day for these blinglets, the special Hugs and Kisses pack. I don't know if you can see that. It's a special 12 pack with 2 of each colors, with a exclusive color, this beautiful sort of peachy color I don't do. It's not a standard color, so it's only in these packs. So if you want to grab a pack of those, jump over onto the website. There's only a few packs left. And that's going to finish off today, and we'll take those away. But I suppose I should just start weaving in these ends, because there's no ends fairy. Like, seriously, how many of you like weaving in ends or don't? See, I love sewing things together. I got no issues with sewing things together. For me, the weaving in the ends is the problem. I'm just not a fan. Now, I'm a bit particular about my weaving in ends needles. I use these chenille size 22. I like a pointy tip. A lot of people like a dull tip. I suppose it depends on what I'm working on. Sometimes I like a dull tip, but I really like having these very big eyes. I don't think you can see that. Can you see the eye on there? I like to have the very big eye. Just, because then you don't have to worry about trying to fit everything through the hole, and you don't have to try and make everything, tiny. Marion says, my beautiful yarn turned up. Oh, you're very welcome. I'm glad that it got there. I'm sorry. I got a bit, you guys know what I'm like by now, right? I get a bit slack with the old posting out of the prizes, but I've got a system in place now, so we'll see how that works. I normally leave it a couple of days just in case someone wants to order something with free shipping, and then after that it goes out. Good morning, it's the blanket. Yes, it is the blanket. As I was saying just before, it is not finished. I'm still crocheting, but I thought I would just, tackle some of these ends. Cases, the ends of the end of us. Oh, they really are. And I know somewhere I need to keep some of this yellow, because I've got a spot where there's like this section that you need to do these sort of joins. There's like a square section that you join in the middle. You couldn't see any of that. There's a square section where you join down the middle, and I missed one of the join stitches. So I know it's yellow, and I know I have to fix it. Now the other thing that I like to do when I am weaving in ends is I like to have a nice small pair, or these are probably medium, they're not embroidery scissors by any stretch of the imagination, but a nice small pair of sharp pointy nose scissors. They can get up nice and close and you can give a good trim. These, I hit the back to school sales, you guys. Like at the beginning of the school year, when like scissors like this size are like $1 or $1.50 a pair, I'll buy like 5 pairs. I think it might be me. I do have a red line here. Hang on a second. Gosh, hang on. We do have some serious, oops. I'm just checking some stuff here. We've got some serious overcastedness going on, guys. So now you are not on the Wi-Fi. So I don't know why that's not even, I'm not even connecting there. Can you guys hear me at all is the question. I'm getting nothing. I always try to weave in as I go, but that only lasts for about half the project. I totally understand that. Hang on, I've just got to double check. The thing that I normally do to, that I've been doing is not working at all. It says that there's nothing. It says it's an upcoming event. Let's try and go back in. Let's see if that works. Oh, I've got an ad, so that's going to work at least. Weather problem. We've got like, it's really overcast. There's all sorts of stuff going on weather-wise. Oh, there's the needle. I did put it somewhere safe. So I am trying to, I'm doing the best I can. I'm sorry. I've got the best setup I can set up, and the internet set up the best I can set it up. So it might just be a bit glitchy because we've got rain fade. It's crazy how the weather interferes with signals. I don't bother to ring anyone down south when it's overcast here. Yeah, it's just one of those things. So, well, at least the sound is working. So, you know, I'll just keep talking. And so when the video drops in and out, we'll just keep talking. So yeah, so I've talked about the blinglets, my birch needles. Yeah, so I'm just going to be weaving in ends. So today we don't have any prizes today. Sorry guys, I wasn't quite organised for that. We're just going to hang out and chat. Lots of dark clouds here today. Yeah, it's really quite ominous. Even Abby was a bit nervous this morning with like getting ready for school. Mind you, she looks for any excuse to get out of school. So, you know, it's one of those things. Yeah, I've got a green bar here again, guys. And as far as I can see, we're all good to go. Oops, I missed a stitch. So this weekend, I've got my cousin coming over. So we're going to have cousin shenanigans. It's been ages since we've had a hangout day. Oops, trimming. I should probably just put my scissors on the other side because I have to keep reaching across myself. And top tip, when you go to pull the thread out, maybe don't hold it in. Yeah, keep talking, shouldn't be a problem, yeah. Oh, the video is offline, but it's still streaming and I can still see. I've still got something happening on my phone here, so maybe just refresh every now and again. I'm sorry, guys. We got about 12 inches of snow here. Oh my gosh. We've actually had a serious temperature drop. We've been getting like these 35, 36 degree days, and now we're down to about 26. So we've had a 10 degree temperature drop, and that's huge for us. So, you know, it's still summer here, and we don't normally get many days under 30. So Tanya says it must be the weekend for family. Have you got family coming over as well, Tanya? Oops, I've just realised I just was totally taking that out of the camera shot. I'm off to see my brother for his 30th. Oh, there you go. I actually miss my youngest brother's birthday every year. I do feel a smidge guilty about it. It's his birthday is Bendigo weekend, and I can't not go to Bendigo. And one year he was like, but it's my 30th. And I was like, well, I'm sorry. So, you know, I couldn't really do much. So, you know, I sent a good present. It's the best I could do. I'm not going to ditch Bendigo. Sorry, I love you and all. It's one of those things. Oh, there we go. And I must have already wove those ones in. See, the thing is, I didn't think I'd done many of these ends, But it's, as I'm sort of moving around, I do tend to start from the middle and work my way out. It's a bit like a quilting thing for that, isn't it? Where's that one? There it is. And I'm really anti-knots. Like, if I see knots in people's projects, I just imagine them unraveling. And so, like, I don't tie knots in my yarn. I don't join my yarn with knots, because knots can come undone, whereas a nice amount of weaving in tends not to. I actually have never had anything that I've woven in come out, whereas I have very long time ago, before I knew better about knots, I have had things come undone in the wash, and just while they're wet, they're heavier. I pulled it straight out. That was clever, wasn't it? Yeah, when they're wet, they're heavier, and it's insane. It's totally insane how it goes. Oh, you guys, had a serious scare this morning in the loo here. I've, been to the bathroom, turned around, walked out, and there's a massive cockroach right on the architrave above the door, and I'm thinking, okay, I have to walk out of here, but you better not jump on me, because if you jump on me, I'm totally going to scream like a girl. So, yeah, it didn't, as far as I can tell. It's still there. So, I did go back and just double check. What have I done there? That was stupid. I do find that sometimes I'll tie the two strands together in just a single knot to keep the tension while I'm working on it. And then I realise later that it's actually gotten caught up in some crochet, so I've got to pull it out. Tanya says, I hope I'm not back too late. Why is that? You just don't like late nights out, or you've got something else you want to do, or... Yeah, I don't know about way more important than Bendigo, but I can't really avoid Bendigo. Bendigo Sheep and Wool Show is kind of like Australia's version of Rhinebeck, where it's like the biggest sheep and wool show in the country, and it's where you go if you want hand-dyed yarns and fibres, and you want to meet the dyers and all that sort of stuff. It's just so much fun. There's so many hand makers, there's there's spindlers, there's everything is there. It's one of those sort of annual events that you don't want to miss if you can. And I'm a stall holder, so I take all my stock down, and I make lots of hand-dyed yarn, and sometimes I'll do special things just for Bendigo. It tends to be just colours that I can't repeat, because I'm in such a fraz doing all the dyeing that I actually don't write down how to dye those colours, which is a bit stupid, but because then every year I'll get emails from people saying, hey, I bought this thing off you, can you make me some more? And it's just like, I don't think I can, but I can try. And I have to actually get them to send me a sample, which just feels so defeatist. But I try, and I try my best. I don't custom dye generally as a rule, but I will try and repeat one of my colours. The only reason I don't custom dye is because colour is subjective. So when someone asks for sky blue, you kind of got to go, what kind of day, which hemisphere, that sort of thing. Wisconsin sheep and wool is good too. I've only been there once. Rebecca was asking, okay, I was wondering if that's what it was. Yeah, it's a massive sheep and wool show. It's really, really good. It's fun. It's heaps of fun, actually. I love it. Back late from Bendigo, my daughter's 13th is the Monday after. Oh, fair enough. Tanya, are you having a stall at Bendigo this year? And are you in Australian Hand Knitters and Spinners group on Facebook? And do you know about Bendigo Bingo? Just throw all of those things at you. So I'll be back on her birthday, not birthday night, just hopefully not too late. Oh, I understand. All right. I understand now. Sorry. Hi, Nerdy Stitcher. How you going? Oh. What have we got in here? Has everyone thumbs up today? And done all their stuff? You guys know the drill, right? You all know what's going on. Weaving in the ends. 40 billion ends. Yesterday afternoon, on the drive home from school, it's about a half an hour each way to pick up and drop off Abby from school. There's this song on the radio, and I hate it. Honestly, I hate it so bad. that I actually make up my own lyrics to it. And yesterday I made it cow themed, and Abby wasn't impressed for some reason. I would moo through this song with the windows in the car down, stopped at red lights. I'm very embarrassing. Tanya says, no stall, helping out another vendor, don't know about Bendigo Bingo. So it doesn't happen every year, and we're still finalising it. Well, I'm not, I'm just a participant. But the girls who run the Australian Hand Knitters and Hand Knitters and Spinners Facebook page, they have like this thing where different stall holders will opt in. You've got to opt in for a start. You've got to agree to, you know, donate prizes and a couple of bucks cash for postage to post the prizes out. And people can go to their stall at Bendigo and grab a form, and then you go around to the stalls and stamp them. And so if you hit a certain number of stamps that you've received, you can enter into different prize draws. And so it's just a really good way of getting people out and around to all the different sheds that have, because like it's not just up in the big sheds, like it's not just the big pavilions, there's also the Woolcraft sheds, and then there's like 4 or 5 Woolcraft sheds, not 1 or 2. So it makes people go and hunt for all these little sheds and spaces to go and find things so that they can get chances to win these really awesome prizes. Andrea has said, just realised my kid left her swimming stuff at home, guess I'm heading up to the school at lunchtime. I hate it so much when Abby leaves her stuff at home. And I'm so tempted just to go, oh well, too bad. But then at the end of the day, I know she would prefer it if I didn't. And so, yeah, I'll message her, like, I'll be at this, what time swimming, and I'll be there. And I will literally roll up to the pool and throw it over the fence at her. And so it's very... I thought it would be embarrassing, but apparently Mum's got game because I can throw a full duffel bag up and over a 10-foot fence. So it's just because Mum's grumpy because I've had to drive all the way to school again. Yeah, I love Bendigo Bingo, and I really hope we get to do it again this year. They've got to get it through sort of all the powers that be through the Bendigo Sheep and Wool Association. It's just insurance-y stuff. They've just got to double check they're ticking all the boxes kind of thing. And you got to do that. You can't avoid it. Oh, I had a scare this week. This week has been such a crazy week. So, oh, Jesus. God. Try not to bleed on the... Sorry. I just poked myself with my sharp needle and then jumped and poked myself again. Oh, wow. That's just... Ow. Ow. Don't do that again. That's the downside of a sharp needle. Andrew says that enough paid for it. Yeah, there's a good point. That's a good point too. Oh dear. But yeah, so we hope that I'm just trying not to bleed on the yarn. I think it should be good. I don't want to bleed on my blanket. That's why I like blunt darning needles. I know. There's pros and cons to everything. That's the definite con of a sharp. I like it because I can pick up the edges of stitches. Like this one here is here. I don't want to run it through green. I want to run it through yellow so it's less noticeable. So I'll actually run it through parts of the stitches to get it down into the yellow there. And so that even if its little tail pokes out, you don't notice it so much because it's poking out over the yellow things. I don't know if you guys can even see what I'm doing here. Doesn't matter that much. Doesn't matter that much. And then back up and through, and then get the snippers. Snippers. There we go. Scissors was one of Abby's first words. No. And scissors. Like she struggled with speaking. We had her at speech therapy and she would say yes, no, out, go, and scissors. But she could follow instructions. And so she was one of those kids that didn't really say a lot until she hit about 3, and then you just couldn't shut her up. We were like, why did we do this? Why did we take her to speech therapy? Oh my God, this was so silly. So yeah, so, oh, that's what I was saying. I'm going to put the sharp needle down. Sharp needles down. So this week, I closed off the first month for the Mystery Lace Club. So those of you that have joined in, thank you. It's so exciting. I messaged our first month's designer yesterday with numbers and what have you. And she is very, very excited and looking forward to hanging out with us again to do another one. So if you guys like this particular designer, let me know and I'll make sure we get her in. Sarah, morning everyone. I'm so happy to finally have a Thursday morning to myself. Oh, I totally know that feeling. So yeah, so we closed off the first month of the Mystery Lace Club. And so that's sorted. We're getting the second month organized now. And more just like when I say the second month organized, I've already got the designer on board and I've got the designer on board for the next few months. Got the designer on board, and I just mean sort of more along the lines of I've been focusing so hard on month one that I just want to double check that the things that I had lined up for month one are lined up for month two. And I've got my dye plan sorted out, so I'm going to get dyeing for month one, and now that I've got numbers, and yeah, so I'm just very excited. It's one of those things where I'm really negative about stuff like I love making things and I love doing stuff and I love making club. Well, I've loved it so far. Like first club hasn't even shipped out, but I love how it's going. But I'm always like, yeah, but then the world's going to come crashing down, like trash everything. And so, because I'm like, yay, everything's so good, crash, bang. And that's kind of how I sort of see the world, really. Like, I enjoy the good time and I enjoy all the stuff. But in the back of my mind, it's always like, so what bad is going to happen now because this is so good? So, yeah. So, don't put any suggestions of bad things because they'll play in my mind and I'll go onto a little spiral, which we don't want. We don't want a little negative spiral. Have I disappeared again? I don't think so. I think I'm all good. I'm all green and I'm still showing up in my feed. Maybe refresh, Joss. Can you still hear? I don't know. Unless it's just appearing here and here. No, it'd have to be all right. All good, back. Excellent, thank you. But yeah, so Mystery Lace Club first month is in the bag. It's locked. Maybe I shouldn't say it's in the bag until it's posted. Maybe I should, not be quite so like, yeah, it's all good and done until it's actually out the door. That might be better. It might have just been Joss's end this time around. That's a nice change. There's just someone's end, it's not mine. Oh, sorry guys. I just keep taking it out of the camera because, I've got to see it. Move you. Which pinky you? You can go over here. Hang on. I can't, for some reason I couldn't do that one and talk at the same time. I don't know why. It's special. I don't know the answer to that. But yes, I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited about how people liked the Hugs and Kisses Stitch Markers special. So that was cool too. I don't know, it's just been a really positive week. Like, do you guys ever have just a really nice week? Like, I have so many weeks where it's up and down, or it's just down, or it's just like meh, like whatevs. But this week has actually been really, really positive. So yeah, it's just one of those things. I just find it really, I don't know, it's nearly like it's confusing. Rebecca says she's looking forward to signing up for next month. Fantastic. So sign-ups for next month have opened now. So if you want to sign up, you can either wait until the 20th of next month or whatever, but you can start signing up now. So it's all open and good to go. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I nearly did myself again then. Did you guys see that? No, because I had it out of the camera, which is probably not a bad thing. You probably don't need to see me spiking myself with a sewing needle. So there we go. Dun, dun, dun. You should do a green set for St. Paddy's. I should probably do that. I've got some really pretty greens. See, I've got colours that I don't actually put up on the website as well because I use them for different things. So that's why I end up with some of the sort of one-of-a-kind colours, is because they're popped aside for other projects. Tanya says, I'm hoping I can sign up next month. Got my electricity and water bill at the same time last week. Oh, God, I hate that. I mean, it's like, we all know they're coming, right? It's not like they're a surprise. It's Crochet Clock has made it. How are you going, Steph? Did you ditch the webinar, or is the webinar finished? Because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do both at the same time. So there's a group that both Steph and I are part of. It's like a YouTuber education group kind of thing. And they had a really cool sounding thing happening this morning, but I chose you guys. I totally chose you guys. So yeah. Where are we? Oh, I've taken it out of the camera again. You have to tell me. You have to tell me when I do that, because I don't mean to. I'm not trying to be a selfish crafter. But, you know, I am. We were just talking about the Mystery Lace Club crochet clock. Just talking about how the first month is closed. What do you... Oh yeah, so with the bills, yeah, we all know they're coming, especially if you've seen that meter reader popping around the electrical details, you know you're going to get a bill in the next day or two. But when they hit, it's still a shock, no matter what. It's always still that, like, oh crap. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. Oops. I'll talk to you about it later. Hang on, I'm just going back around the green. Where are we? How's it going? Yeah, I'm really happy. I was actually saying how this week has been one of those weeks where everything's been sort of coming up roses, which has been really nice. Like, you know, there's always this stock standard stuff that always hums along in the background that's a little bit, it's just meh. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just life. And there's always that stuff going on. But, what have I done here? Is it supposed to look like that? Don't know, but it does. And this blanket's not actually finished. So those of you that weren't here at the start, this blanket is not finished. I'm just having a break from going rounding and getting rid of some of the ends that I know will torture me later. Because this is one of those jobs where I'll be finished a project. It'll be all stitched together and the ends won't be woven in. So it's like my Dragon Scars cowl, I've done a YouTube video with it. I've done a craft show wearing it, and in the whole time the tails are still hanging out. Like, I have not woven in the ends. Now, in saying that, at the craft show it's quite a good thing that the tails were hanging out, because it meant that I could show the these quilters the yarn, the silk Milky Way, and how easy it splits into thinner yarns, so that they can actually hand quilt with it. So they bought heaps of it for that. And they probably wouldn't have if I hadn't have had the loose end that was starting to fray apart on the actual cowl. So, you know, that was good out of that. But it's totally still sitting out there on the bench, being all display with its ends hanging out. Because I don't weave in ends. What percentage of the blanket is there left to go? I think I've got like 4 rows. Like, it's nearly done. But it was being a bit of a cow face, so it's been gone in the naughty corner. My husband gave himself food poisoning. He was sick for like 3 days. Oh my gosh. My husband gave himself food poisoning a little while ago. Oops, this is starting to fall off the table, so I'll just lift it up a bit. Yeah, my husband gave himself food poisoning. I said, honey, don't eat any more of the corned beef. It's been in the fridge for 3 days now. Don't eat it. It's done. We'll bin it. He comes home from work that day and he is like, and I'm like, you don't look well, honey. Are you feeling sick? And he goes, oh, I think it might have been something I ate. And I was like, what did you eat? And he goes, oh, I had the corned beef. I'm like, it has been in the fridge. No, it was longer than 3 days. I think it was nearly 5 days. It was bad. Like, it smelled. Like, he should never have touched it, let alone eat it anyway. I'm like, well, you weren't that one, baby. because I said not to eat it. It was stinky. My internet must be playing up. You keep disappearing off my TV. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still showing up on my external monitor. But we are, like, in Brisbane, we've got this weird, wacky weather going on, so I'm sorry. Nerdy says I'm still tired. Yeah, I get it. Like, when you're on your own dealing with all that, you know I crochet over my ends to avoid doing that. What you're doing right now, I loathe. Look, I know a lot of people crochet over ends, but I still want to weave it back the other way. And I'll crochet over ends of, like, a single thing, but not over an entire blanket. I'm just paranoid, that's all. He ate with a fork contaminated with raw egg. Well, see, again, like that, it's like, did he know there was raw egg on the fork? Like, did he go, oh, it'll be fine? Can get salmonella from raw eggs. Totally can. So many things that you can get salmonella from. Oh, we've just had, speaking of eggs, if any of you guys follow me on Chantel.Hills over on Instagram, I posted a photo this week where I've actually, I've just built a new chook pen for my 3 girls, because we thought 2 were missing. We honestly thought they were gone, and then they would sort of pop up, and we'd be like, oh, the chickens are back. Where the hell are they going? We could not find them. Like, we thought they were leaving the yard. We were walking around and around. Before you were saying how you hate knots, how do you finish off? When I finish off with crochet, I will pull the yarn through and create that one single knot, but then I'll weave that in. So I'm not relying on the knot to hold everything together. The weaving in holds it together before it ever gets to the knot. Does that make sense? Hey, Kim. Everyone's been so naughty here without you and your spanner. They've been really mean to me. But yeah, so what was I saying? Oh, the chickens. Turned out that I could smell this terrible smell. Honestly, it was so bad. And it was just sort of out my front door and under the window in this garden that we've got with a frangipani in it, but with all ferns growing up around it. And I've sort of peered in and I could see a very still chicken. I'm thinking, oh no, it's a dead chicken. I don't want to deal with it. Then I noticed her head moved, like looked at me like, oh. And I'm like, what are you doing in there? Turns out the 2 chickens that we thought we'd lost had gone broody as anything, had taken to laying their eggs where, like, one of them was in this little tiny alcovey corner thing, like right here, in this sort of longy grass area that my husband doesn't tend to hit with the whippersnipper. And she was in there with 21 eggs. And then the one under the window near my lounge room, she was in this fern patch where all the ferns were coming up and over her, so you couldn't see her. And she was in there with nearly 40 eggs. And the stench was broken, rotten eggs. So it was just so bad. So I built this little chook pen just to keep them in. And everyone at home's like, but it's so small, it's cruel. They're used to having the whole yard. But I'm trying to explain that they're going to have the whole yard. We've just got to get the broody hens from stop being broody. So we had to wait till we could collect up all these eggs, move them, mess up the spots that they're in, give them a couple of days in this new thing, wait until someone lays an egg in there, basically, because there's 3 hens, one of them's fine. So we've got to let them relax a bit in there, because the 2 broody ones are trying to get out. They want to get back to their little nest piles. And so I'm like, oh, this is just so stressful. But at least we have all 3 of our chickens. They're in the same place. It now means that while they're in there, I can go in and out of the yard and leave the gate open. Oh, that's novel. And so, yeah, it's one of those things that's just really, I'm so glad that we sorted it out. But it did mean that I built a chook pen. Sorry, I should probably specify, I put together a chook pen flat pack. So I didn't like hammer all the little pieces in. There was a flat pack and I drilled all the bits together with Abby's help to hold things in place. And so one afternoon we put together this little, I think it's about 1.8 by 1.8 meters long by, how wide is it? It's about 1 meter wide and 1 meter tall. I think that's about right. It's not enormous, but it's got like a little house where they can go up there, ramping in and sleep, and then there's a laying box where we can open the back up and get the eggs out. So yeah, so it's just small, but it's you know, and it's not meant to be their prison, as Abby is taken to calling it. And she keeps saying to me, how are they going to lay eggs? No one wants to make babies in a prison. So I'm like, okay. Jay found that what he thought was a dead rat in our garden, it stunk so bad, turned out to be a bandicoot. Oh, gosh. Bandicoots and raccoons are not the same. No. I worked at an egg ranch for years. Rotten egg smells the worst. And, like, it's one of those things where because you have to stand there and work near it, like, you know, you're collecting up all the other eggs and stuff like that, just being in the air around you, no matter how many times you wash your hands, it doesn't matter because it's permeated your clothes. So you've got to go and have a shower and wash your hair and change your clothes. Sarah says, we have to hunt for our eggs every day. Ours don't like laying in the pen. They like to lay under the bushes. That's what mine do. Or in the compost bin or somewhere challenging. Ours took to laying under, we had this built-in barbecue thing on our back patio. And we don't use it because we put the barbecue outside in another patio. And so it's just this big brick square. So they'd taken to laying in there. So that was really convenient. So we're like, thanks. Because you go out the back door, grab an egg. Thanks very much, chickens. So yeah, it's one of those, you know, crazy things. I'm getting quite a nice little pile of ends here, you guys. Look at this. Woo! I need to save some of the yellow because I've got to do a yellow repair somewhere. I'll find it. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's totally one of those things. Bandicoots don't scavenge like raccoons. No, they don't. I love that YouTube video with the raccoon stealing the cat food. I love that one. It cracks me up. I love how the raccoons stand up and walk around. How's the knee? The knee is doing okay. And I've got physio this afternoon, so I'm feeling really positive about not getting in trouble. So, because I've done nothing naughty. I've been heat packing and ice packing, and I've not been doing my exercises because they told me not to. And it's feeling a lot better. Like I can walk. Like that's the thing. I'm back to walking again. And I'm so careful getting in and out of the car. I make sure my entire body is very far away and I can just reach the door to shut it. So I won't be shutting my knee in the door again because that was just stupid. Physio last week were just like, oh my Lord, what have you done? So yeah, I'm actually kind of looking forward to physio this week. Wow, everything's moving. I've smelled sulfur, rotten eggs, roadkill, dead grey whale. Oh, I don't want to know about all the stenchy things. Oh, no, I'm not reading that one. I have to drive past a mushroom farm. Oh, yeah, they're bad. And a pig farm. Pigs are pretty bad. Oh, yeah, the shed. Yeah, okay. I did battle with a raccoon that was always going for my garbage can. One of the girls in my crochet group did a queen-size blanket. One round granny squares. Oh, I saw the photo of that before. It looks amazing. But yeah, so many ends. That's the thing, like the second you change colors, ends. Oh wow, oh yeah, it's not great. Crochet Clock says that it's in a town that's surrounded by dairy farms. My daughter was just visiting for 4 hours and gagged every time she walked outside. Oh no. I actually have to drive past an abattoir to get to Abby's school, and it's not every day is a kill day, but on a kill day you're just like, oh, wind the windows up, this is bad, especially on hot days. Well, they do tend to do it at night, which is good, so we don't tend to be driving around that often at the time of stench. It's a bit like Babylon 5, you know, when they talk about the different times, like times of scampering is when everyone's finished work. Well, this is times of stench. Oh, I've just realised that I've got not muted. Sorry about that, guys. Now it's muted. There was a pig far out, something on the bus route I used to ride on the... Yet. I'm not sure if you've already talked about it, but Mystery Lace Club. We did talk about it. You missed it because you were late. We did. So Mystery Lace Club is closed off for the March Club. The April Club is now open. The dyeing has not actually started because if you looked outside, but all the skeins are ready to go. I spoke to the designer last night and she is good to go as well. She's really happy. I've got all the codes for everybody who's signed up. So that's exciting as well. And that was actually really quite quick because I sent to we're on different time zones. That's a hint for you. And and she got back to me like really fast, like with codes and everything. So everything is ready to rock and rumble. So it's all exciting. But April Club is now open. You can, if you missed out on March, you can totally sign up for April and go from there. And those that signed up for March Club, you will automatically roll into April unless you opt out. You have to physically opt out. But you can opt in and out. But yeah, you totally have to physically opt out before the anniversary of the day you signed up. So don't think you need to opt out by the 20th. Well, yeah, if you've opted out by the 20th, I will know that. But there's a good chance that PayPal will have already charged you, so you need to double check. What happened then? My phone made a noise. Because I got a message. Someone put in an order. Thank you to whoever put your order in. I didn't see your name. I just kept scrolling. Green. This camera does not show how pretty this green is, honestly, and the yellow. It makes them look kind of a little insipid, but they're such pretty greens and yellows, honestly. I couldn't listen while I was shaving and foiling. Okay. I drive through Rochester when I go to Bendigo. Or at least, do I drive through Rochester every time? I think I do. Or was it just that first time when I screwed up and drove for an extra 2 hours? I don't know. Do we all have individual codes? It's a lot of work. Yes, you all have individual one-time use codes. That's right. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. And it makes it fair for everybody, and the designer knows that, no one's trying to score codes when they shouldn't, and it's like a little security feature, so that's why you do it. Could I get March's box next month to catch up? Rebecca, if you want to send me an email, we'll have a discussion, or a message on Facebook or something. We'll have a talk, and we'll see what we can organise for you. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. I think they had to tow it into the bay. Oh, you're at the hairdressers. Oh, I went to the hairdressers this week. I was feeling particularly on, what day was it? What day did I go? Might have been Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. And so I was feeling, on Tuesday morning, I had a conference call and that went all right. But I've just been feeling a little under the weather, like nothing dramatic, just a bit like, low blood pressure is an issue. And so I was feeling a little under the weather. And then I had my conference call, and then I was sort of like, just saying there like a zombie watching television for like 20 minutes. I'm like, I've got to do something better with my time than this. So I rang up my hairdressers to see if they could fit me in, and they could. So they did, and I'm grey free again. So yay! And yay for grey free. And then I took it out of the camera again. Hey guys, Hey guys, do not sign up with Darn Good Yarn. The company is disreputable. Yeah, there's a group on, what are they called? The Demon Trolls on Ravelry run a really, really good list of companies that are having issues with like clubs or dyers or people that basically do bunks with your money. And they also have a list of reputable dyers, which one day I would like to be on that list, but I'm not quite there yet. There's a process, and I haven't looked into it, but I think I have to be nominated and not by me, so that. But yeah, so yeah, there's a few, and that was one of the reasons why it did take me so long to start a club, was the logistics of actually starting a club they're not terribly onerous, right? Like, yes, you find out how many people want something, you make it, you send it. Now, I have an issue with holding people's money, and because most clubs you pay for 3 months in advance. And I was like, I don't want that. I don't want to have that pressure of having someone's money and knowing in 3 months I've got to deliver another thing. I'd rather do it month to month to month. So if something happens, I can tell everybody we're pausing for a month. No payments are coming out, so I don't have anyone's money up front. I feel weird enough doing it in the way I'm doing it that I'm having people's money for a couple of weeks, or depending on when they've signed up. But I stress about that sort of stuff. And so I was like, I don't want that. And then when I found out I could do it this way, I was like, okay, I can do that. And so I I was really nervous about starting a club because of this side of it, because of the reputation side and the actual getting everything organized. But I talked to some designers and sort of about some of the different problems. Like Kim was saying, Darngood yarn was one that was copying the pattern and then giving it away to all the, and I'm not sure if it was a Darngood yarn, but I know there's a few of them that don't talk to a designer. They'll buy a single copy of the pattern and then print it and put it in, and that's just really, really hard. So Nerdy says they delete and block negative reviews on their Facebook. I've also heard another one, is it Yarnbox? I'll have to double check. There's another one that's doing very similar stuff as well. There's a few out there, and that was why I didn't want to do it. And then when I realized I could do it this other way, where I'm talking to people and I'm talking to the designers and I'm paying for each individual pattern, and I feel good, I'm supporting the designer, you guys are supporting me, and everyone's getting something pretty at the end. And I'm so excited to be able to like get the first boxes out to show you too, so that you guys can all see that it is exciting, because I really feel like it's a huge risk. Yeah, Kim says she's buffering. I'm buffering as well. I've dropped down to 0 signal, but it's just popped back up. So, but yeah, so I don't know if you can still hear me or not. But yeah, I can't see my internet connection from here. I had it in a spot where it had like 4 bars. I have done that with Fat Fiber Box, and that was fun and good. And that's how it's supposed to be, Tara. It's supposed to be exciting and fun, like, yay, squishy mail. It's not supposed to be, stressful and iffy. It's supposed to be like, you get it on this date, or, you know, it ships on this date and you've got a tracking number, so off you go. Tyra says Yarnbox was nothing but trouble. At least, Tyra, I don't think you're alone in that at all. Is Knit Crate legit? As far as I'm aware, Knit Crate's totally legit. I don't know anything. I haven't heard anything bad about Knit Crate. Yeah, the weather here it's bad. We've got beaches closed. There's all sorts of stuff going on. We've got the tail ends of some cyclones that didn't hit us, but they're where their systems are hitting us. I feel your concerns. I'm taking pre-orders for yarn advent calendars, so I have orders on more than half a year waiting list. I have a very structured system for myself, so it all runs smooth. And Tanya, that's the thing. It's like making sure you've got a system that you're comfortable with and that your customers are comfortable with and they are communicated with and they know what's going on, then it's all thumbs up. But it's the ones that don't tell you what's going on. You know, it's the ones that just sort of, they don't say anything. They're just like, hey, hang on, I haven't received a box this month. And it's like, what's happened with that? And then when you try to contact them, it's all crickets. You can't on social media, you can't do anything. So yeah, it's one of those weird things. But hopefully you guys, you know, you can hunt me down pretty well everywhere. I'd have to like literally be dead for you guys not to be able to find me. That's the advantage of knowing you. We're much more likely to trust you. Oh, well, thank you. Tara says, Nerd Girl Yarn Clubs are good too. I did their Fibre of the Month. There's heaps of really good clubs out there, and there's just a couple of bad apples that sours it for everybody. And so it makes people more nervous about it. And I totally get it. I totally do. Crochet says, my ultimate goal is to open a monthly box as well, because the US ones had made me so bad. Crappy products, yarn, shady junk all around. Yeah, I've seen some weird photos of stuff that's going out in some boxes. Tanya, what's your website? I'd be interested in looking at your advent calendar. Tanya, if you can message Kim, she can put your link in. Or actually just, you guys are both members over on the Fiberific Fun Zone. Pop it up there so that everyone can have a look. These live streams are great because that's that level of openness that builds trust. Well, thank you. I love the live streams because it feels like I get to actually have a conversation. And because most of my day is spent in like a bubble of just me with the occasional person popping in, but it really is mostly just me sitting here going, I wonder if this is a good idea. Then, you know, I love the live streams because I get to talk to you guys and, you know, it's just fun. So yeah, and you know, Caffeinated Crafters is awesome too, and I love Caffeinated Crafters, but we've already done the last one for the month. Nerdy says, I was horrified at the customer service of Yarn It. Oh really? Was that little ball thing that had the little things in it, because I think if that's the case, I had a friend in Australia who had some problems with that as well. Alba, you've made it! Yay! Poor Alba has missed the last couple, and it seems that she comes in right on the tail end of us finishing up. Like, just as the stream is locked down, Alba comes in. So it's been a long time since she's caught an actual live chat. Live. I've lost my scissors. There they are. Alba, I'm just weaving in ends. The blanket's not finished. I'm just avoiding finishing my weaving in ends. Do you mind me sharing that? I don't want to be stepping on. No, totally. Go right ahead. Tanya, I'm truly one of these people that I don't like spammy stuff, right? Don't get me wrong. That annoys me. But we are in a community that's fairly small and we have crossover. And you have a good product. Why would I be in any way... See, I think that some of the businesses that get titchy about it, they feel threatened. And as far as I'm concerned... You've got a good product. I'm probably going to go and buy it. So why wouldn't I want people I know to enjoy it too? You know what was fun? 1 and 2 bottles of Moscato in 2 days. Oh, you went away to your fun weekend away, didn't you? I'm a bit jealous of that. I saw the photos. Look at the yarn at thread on Demon Trolls. It's horrific. Oh, God, have to go and have a look. I love Demon Trolls. I think what they do is fantastic. So for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, on Ravelry there is a group. It's called Demon Trolls. And you can join up just to find out information. And you can go in and you read the threads, and it's personal accounts of service that people have had with businesses. So it's normally like there's like a warning, and then there's an alert. If a business has an alert, it means they've diddled people for money. Like that it's been terrible. So it's a good way to avoid and risk management of your crafting budget, because we all know crafting money is limited. We've got bills, we've got life, we've got stuff. You don't want to be throwing your crafting money down the drain. So this is a really good way to find that. Crochet says, I don't think there's any reason for folks to be as catty as they can be. We should all be supporting each other and lifting. Yeah, I am totally part of the high tide lifts all boats kind of mentality, and I think we should all be lifting each other up, and we should be getting rid of all the cattiness, because for some reason our industry seems to have a fair whack of it, and I hate that. It bothers me. I just avoid it like the plague. If someone starts something up, I'm just like, I'm going to back out of this conversation very quietly. But yeah, I truly believe that the high tide lifts all the boats. So if we all support each other and we all encourage each other to do better, we all benefit from it. Tanya says, thank you. I try to be supporting, but sometimes others aren't so much that way inclined, and I hate the conflicts. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm totally the same. I hate conflicts so much. I appreciate their hard work to save me getting ripped off. Yes, that's Demon Trolls. Totally. I agree. And they've got a really fine line they have to walk between informing and then not getting sued by these businesses. I'd be well and truly asleep if there weren't bottles of Merlot involved. I miss wine. I have a bottle that I just look at and talk to. Oh, I was actually chatting with a girlfriend last night. She'd had a glass of wine, and I was like, I wish I had a glass of wine, but it was already like 10 o'clock, and I was like, I don't want a glass of wine at 10 o'clock. Tori says it's a bit frowned upon when you're preggers. It totally is. Oh no, I reckon that was the hardest part for me. Like, it was wine and cheese was the hardest part for me while I was pregnant. I was all right without the cold meat. I was all right without soft serve, but it was like cheese and wine. And I was just like, oh, this is so horrible. I hate this so much. You better appreciate this, Abby. Abby loves cheese, so there's that. Supporting each other is awesome. Speaking of which, I have an opportunity for you, Miss Fiberific. We'll message you. Totally message me, gay. I like opportunities. Alba's in the chat. Oh, there we go. This one's a bit, I don't know what I did. I did something wrong to that one. It's a bit hinky. We'll flatten that out later. Flatten. I miss sushi the most. Look, when I was pregnant with Abby, sushi wasn't really a big part of my day. Now I think I would miss sushi a lot. Like if I was pregnant sort of now, which I'm not. But when Abby was around, because that was like she turns 13 next month. She's actually very excited at the moment because all the signs that are around counting down the Commonwealth Games. Abby's birthday is on like the opening day of the Commonwealth Games, so all these signs are counting down her birthday. So she's like, "Hey, Mom, there's 40 days till my birthday." And you're like, "Yes, Abby." I can't find the darn good yarn thread. It may like because sometimes they just straight out demand that it's removed, and depending on what's going on and things like that, sometimes Ravelry make Demon Trolls remove threads on occasion. It doesn't happen very often, but it has been known to happen. Because, you know, we've got to make sure that neither Ravelry nor Demon Trolls are being sued, because that's just rubbish right there. That's like suing someone for letting everyone know that you're dodgy. That's a bit out there, isn't it? Happy birthday to her. Yeah, she's pretty excited. But, I mean, like, I'm trying to explain to her that Dad's birthday, like Tim's birthday, is before hers. Like his is 2 weeks before hers. So his is mid-March. Hers is the start of April. She actually gets frustrated when she has to share her birthday with Easter Sunday. So yeah, that's always fun too. Oh, more greens. This look at this, you guys. This would not be happening if I didn't have live stream, honestly. Grace's birthdays. Do you know that she watches these back, right? I'm not going to read it out loud, Andrea, just in case. Can someone delete Andrea's message? Not because it's bad, but just because I don't want Andrea to have a present for her daughter ruined. Dodgy is dodgy does. Yeah, totally. Purple. What's purple? What's going on? I don't understand. Oh, it's the colour. The colour is. We are thinking purple because I haven't done that yet. I don't know what's going on. Have I missed something? Oh, I need to choose what colour my hair should be. Oh, I'm thinking, what? Sorry. I think totally Kim needs to go. I think, like, you've done pink. You've already done pink. I totally agree with Sarah McGuinness. I think you need to go teal. Abby, but don't show any photos of your hair to Abby because she totally wants to go teal and I will not let her. Because school rules, and she's at a very, what do you call the school when they have like their fussy McFuss pants uniform policies and they're not allowed to do anything crazy with their hair? Something went crazy. I lost everyone, got an ad, and then you all came back. You must have needed to refresh. Sorry, Gay. I'm trying to keep up. I keep looking at my stitches. We've been a look up, and it's like the chat's moving really fast today. Kim says, I've done pink and peacock before. Okay. What about, like, hot dark purple? You know that purple that's nearly like electricity? I reckon that would look awesome. I don't know if you can get that where you are. Not everyone can do it. But you've already got like a lighter coloured base, right? Marion says white. I was nearly white when I went to the hairdressers. School policy, natural colours only. That's right. Abby says natural colours only and no unusual styles or cuts. So she's not even allowed to, like, what I had with the shaved sides, that's out for the girls. They're not allowed to have that. And their fringe isn't allowed to be past their eyebrows. So if they have a fringe that goes down here, it has to be pinned back. Not that I've seen many of the girls do that. They've got the big long ones and they kind of try and tuck it behind their ears when a teacher walks past. Because it's girls, that's what we do. You have the skirt hoiked up and roll it down when there's a teacher around. Hairdresser said dark violet at the roots fading. I don't understand what that means. I think I don't know. Sorry, Kim. Wash time. All right, have fun. My favorite part's the wash, when they give you the scalp massage and you're like, ring, 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 ring. Love it. Rebecca, Kim would love to see a picture of you after your colour in your hair. We'll see if she can pop a photo in on the Fiberific Fun Zone if she doesn't want to put one out on her public socials. Andrew says, I've got gremlins in my house. My computer just stopped working. My iPad went haywire. I'll see you all next week. Oh, Andrea, I would totally do a shutdown reboot and double check all your virus stuff. That's what I would do. But have a good week. Fading to lighter at the ends. Oh, good call. Yes, I understand. Thank you, Kim. Marion says spots. No, spots are bad in the hair. They never sit properly. They never look right. You end up with just splodges. And splodges aren't good in hair. Oh, dear. I'd love to see it too. Yeah, if we don't hear from Kim back before she, you know, because she's off getting a hair wash now. If we don't hear back from her, I'll send her a message and say everyone wants to see a photo in Fiberific Fun Zone. So we'll make her. She always does such cool stuff with her hair. She's even braver than I am. Like, I'm pretty brave with my hair just because it grows so fast. And so, like, yeah, it's just like, yeah, do whatever you want, hairdresser, because it's going to be grown out real quick. You know, when I was getting the sides razored, I was having to get that done every couple of weeks because I was just growing and growing. So I've decided to grow that out a bit. I'm going to grow, I've got everything growing, sort of from my last haircut, I sort of decided. And yeah, so I'm just, I don't know what I'm going to do. Basically, I'm letting it grow out a bit and I'll work it out later. That's where I'm going with this. Yeah, Andrea, I would, I just, nearly spiked myself, but I didn't. Yay. But yeah, so it's one of those things. Hair is fun. I love hair. I love that you can do so much with it. And if you don't like it, it's just a matter of a few months for it to grow out. And sometimes even just waiting a couple of weeks, like for whatever, because my issue is sometimes hairdressers, like not my current hairdresser, but every now and again I'll have a hairdresser who won't listen when I say I've got like an evil cowlick, not just here, but I've also got one back here. And they just do like crazy stuff. So if it goes too short, it just goes fring. And you know, I'm like, stop that. I don't like that. I've got most things I'm cool with, that I'm totally not cool with. You like have to plaster it down with something to keep it from, you know, catching television signals. Has everyone disappeared? Has something happened? As far as I can see, everything's good, but chat's just really quiet. Just for a second. It's just been for a second, and so now I'm all paranoid now. Let me have a look here. Can you all still hear me? Have I disappeared? I feel like I've disappeared. I don't think I have disappeared. I'm still getting me on the other thing. Oh, good. Thanks, Tanya. You know, I'm so paranoid. I'm like, oh, it's all over. Was I just boring? I could have just been totally boring talking about hair. Oh, nearly lost that. And the blanket's falling off the table. Oh. All right, still here, just knitting. Excellent, thank you guys. Yeah, so what have we got? We're at the, what date are we? 22nd, I should know the date, right? We're at the 22nd of February. And so on the 22nd of the 2nd, 2003, that's when I got married, I actually wore a skirt dress thing. It looked like a dress. My aunt made it for me. And what's really funny, you guys ready for this? Oh, my dinner is almost ready to come out of the oven, so my thoughts keep straying because it smells so good. Oh, I love it when dinner's tantalizing. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I was living in Sydney when I got married, and then my auntie lived in Toowoomba, which is interstate. And so I flew up to Brisbane and then drove up to Toowoomba. And then she'd had already made up like a mock-up of my dress out of like, I don't know, canvas or something. Not canvas. What's that other one? Calico. And so all I had to sort of do was try it on. She did some pinning and she'd showed me, and we went fabric shopping to buy the proper, we bought some cathedral silk and some pretty stuff. It's very pretty. I'll see if I can find it. And and I'll pop it over in Fiberific Fun Zone, but only temporarily. It's not going to live there. But it was a beautiful, beautiful dress. But I found out on the day, like on the wedding day, because my dad was like, your dress looks beautiful on you. And I'm like, thanks, Dad. And then I found out from my aunt that it turns out that my dad, who lived in Toowoomba, was the same height as me with no shoes on as I am in heels. So he stood in my dress while she hand stitched stuff around the bottom because she could get it to the perfect height, because he was the right height. Anyway, it was really weird. Like, I was just like, oh my God, my dad wore my wedding dress before me. It's like, actually, it's really cool, because my dad would be like, nope, not getting in a dress for anybody. And then he not only, like, because he had to put the hoop on because it had a hoop. And he was talking to my auntie about it and about the hoop and everything. And I was just going to be borrowing one for the wedding. And he was like, that's crap. She'll never be able to use a dress for anything else. So he actually bought me my own hoop, and he went shopping for it and got it at the right length and everything. So yeah, it was really, really lovely. But he didn't tell me, she did. So he was, and because I was like, Dad, did you wear my wedding dress? He goes, no one's supposed to know. So now I've told the whole internet. So, you know, spread it around. No, don't spread it around. He'll kill me. But yeah, I just thought it was the nicest thing. And my dad, he, like this, there's photos of him, like, I'll see if I can get a photo of him walking me down the aisle, because you'll get to see the dress and him. But when he did it, he had like this full bushy, like, beard going on. And so, but he shaved it all down to his little goatee that I was used to for the actual ceremony. Because he's turned up, right? That was the other thing. He turned up. He'd driven, because he drove from Toowoomba down to me at Sydney, and he'd done it in one run, and he'd driven for something like, I think he said 12 or 18 hours or something. Like, he'd stopped and paused and like had little roadside sleeps, but he didn't stay anywhere overnight. He didn't one run, and he was like, I wanted to get here in time. What do you want me to do? And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, do you want me to leave this? Do you want me to shave the whole lot? My dad was willing to shave his beard and mustache off for my wedding. And I was like, no, I've never seen you, like, other than once when I was a baby. Never seen him without his beard, so he had to have it. But I thought that was really cool. Anyway, Crochet Clock says, time has gone up. Oh, pot dinner, pot roasts. She's just going to check the potatoes and carrots. I'm a bit jealous. I'm actually a little bit hungry this morning. I was so naughty. I'm doing light and easy at the moment. So for those of you who don't know what that is, it's like a home delivered, calorie controlled thing. It's something my surgeon wanted me to do after my knee got done, right? Because I do need to lose a little bit of weight. But I've been doing it every day for the last 5 or 6 weeks now, and it's going really well, and I'm very happy with it. But this morning I was just like, I do not feel, thank you Allegra, I do not feel that, I don't know, this morning I just didn't feel like making eggs after all the drama we've had with eggs, and this morning's breakfast was eggs with ham and tomato or something, and I was just like, I do not feel like dealing with that. So I actually had a hot cross bun for breakfast which is so bad. So yeah, but now I'm hungry because that's all I've had, and I'm so used to having bigger breakfasts now that I've been doing this light and easy, because I normally skip breakfast. And so it's like you are hungry because you're actually used to eating like a normal person. Is this video lagging for anybody else, or is it your connection? Actually, I'm just having a look now, and it's just started lagging. It hadn't really lagged very much, but I am, you know, rain fade, Allegra, so I'm not having the best day, but it is not the worst either. So yeah. Excuse me, I need a little drink of water. But yeah, mine's dropping in and out a little bit at the moment because I've got a separate thing that I can look at now. Like, I'm recording on Optus and I'm watching it on Telstra on my phone just down here. And so I can sort of see when it drops in and out now. So I can get a bit more of an idea if it's me or if it's just you guys. Eggs would be a touchy subject for a while, yeah. Yeah, it's been laggy a little bit. We've got some seriously crazy weather happening here at the moment. Like, I'm watching, like, I've got a window, and while I've got the blinds closed, I can see through them, and there's trees out there just going like this. Like, we've got some crazy wind out there. Jamie Oliver fish curry tonight. Oh, geez, that sounds good. We're actually going out, so I don't know what I'm going to have. I'm totally blowing the diet today. I'm going out petite. I know that we're doing, Abby's requested sancharo for dessert, so we'll totally be doing sancharo for dessert. And so, yeah, so, you know, stuff and things. There's this restaurant that's recently opened up at the Hyperdome at Logan Home. I don't know what it's called, but I thought it was a yum cha place. So I went in there one day thinking, oh yeah, yum cha would be great because I love a good yum cha. And it wasn't, but the food was absolutely amazing. Anyway, they had this, it was like a creamed corn braised fish. Now, it sounds gross. Trust me, order it. Because it was unbelievable. I've never eaten anything like it. Because we just got, like, they had this, like, it wasn't yum cha, but it was like a banquet for two. And so they just brought out all these different little plates. And so, and a lot of it was like, some of it was like yum cha-y style dishes, like barbecue pork and dim sum and what are the little half circle ones called? I can't remember. But anyway, it was all very good. Everything was delicious. There was nothing that I went at. It was all good. Yeah, it's not doing fantastically, Joss. It's the connection's not the greatest, but it's also not our worst. All this talking about food, belly grumbling. I know, I started talking about food because my belly is rumbling listening to Crochet Clock talk about her amazing pot roast. So, Crochet Clock's fault. Everybody blame Crochet Clock. We're all hungry. Like, what is it for me? It's 11:15, so it's nearly lunchtime. So I'll be able to, you know, do something soon. I don't know what I'm going to have for lunch today. That's one of the advantages of doing this light and easy. Is like, what am I having for lunch today? And look at the thing and go, right, I'm having this Cobb salad with blah, blah, blah on it. And you're just like, great, thanks. And open it up and eat it, you know. But today I'm like, what am I having for food? But I've got these amazing little, what do they call? Are they fava beans? Little flat beans that are roasted with salt on them. Anyway, I'm having some of them later. They'll be good. They're a nice little snack that I pick up from Aldi. It's 12:15 for Tanya. Oh, it's totally lunchtime for you. Sorry about that. I've only had coffee. It's totally food o'clock, you guys. Grab your snacks. Grab your snacks. We'll be back. When do you guys finish with your daylight savings? Because then we'll all be back on the same time zone, unless you're in like Adelaide or something. But yeah, so then we'll all be back to, you know, same time zone. It's 7:13. I didn't actually mean to type lunchtime. Oh, you did. Munchtime works. That works. 7:30 for Tanya. Tanya, have you already had tea, or are you just hungry for dessert now? Oh, come on, you. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think I'm going to pop out and grab some lunch soon. I've really been craving a little bit of sushi, and there's a sushi place not too far from here, so I'll pop out and grab a couple of rolls. Meal prep for tomorrow plus deviled eggs. Oh, man. So I did the, you know how, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but when you've got chickens or even shop-bought eggs and you're not sure if they're good or not, you just put them into like a sort of a container that's about double the height of an egg if it was standing up. And then you put it in. You've got to be able to see through it, or you do it in the sink, but you've got to make extra water so you can sort of see. And then you put the eggs in. Now, if they stay flat laying on their side, they're perfectly fine. If they're starting to tilt up, you've probably got 1 or 2 days before they're starting to go bad, because that's the gas is building up. When they float or start to float, ditch them, don't eat them. So I floated, we call it floating. I floated the eggs out of one of the chook's little, you know, hoards. We're going to call it the hoard. And out of the 21 eggs in her hoard, I was actually extra ruthless, and the ones that were just starting to turn that I probably would have kept and baked a cake or something with, I ditched those as well. We still had a dozen eggs, and that was just out of hers. And the second hoard, because it was the one under the window, it was a stinky one, I just said to Tim, bin the lot. I'm not going to risk bringing any of that smell in the house. I do not want it here. So that was 40 eggs in her hoard. So binned all of those. But we'll see how we go. But it feels really weird because I've got chickens, right? And then Light and Easy send me eggs. So I'm like eating commercial eggs, even though I've got my own eggs. But yeah, I don't know, it's weird. I mean, I could say to them, hey, I've got chickens, don't supply the eggs. But yeah, we have to do that with our eggs. It's crazy. Yeah, crazy chickens. It's all about crazy chickens. They're insane. Chickens are a little bit weird, like seriously. They're cute and they're funny, but they're also dinosaurs. So yeah, it's a whole lot of eggs. Yeah, it is. Lemon tree, it's got lots of fruit on it. So I guess who's making lemon butter very soon? This girl. I do the 2 thumbs thing, but you know, busy doing stuff. So yeah, it's one of those things like, but I love having eggs, especially at Christmas time, because I make so many things that have eggs in it at Christmas. Like if I don't have 4 dozen eggs, I'm not going to get through Christmas, because I've got to make puddings and potato and egg salad and custards, and like I make a double egg custard that sets for my trifle, you know, like, so I need lots of eggs. I mean, most Christmases I end up having to buy eggs, or at least a dozen eggs, because, you know, the chooks, there's only 3 chickens. Tanya, oh, I love lemon butter so much. So do I. It's one of those childhood things. Lemon loaf. Yeah, I love lemon loaf too, with the lemon drizzle sauce where you poke it with skewers so it soaks in. Love that too. Love so many things lemon. I make this lemon slice thing as well that's really nice. It's like a little, it's not quite a cheesecake, but it's sort of like this thin, I don't know how to describe it. It's nearly like a lemon butter slice. Ham and eggs, yep, all the things with eggs. All the eggy things. Dun, 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 dun. We're getting there. I'm having to find bits to do now. Havana floaters, public pools. I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to, I don't know what that is, Marion. That's scaring me. Ooh, lemon loaf. I've not tried that. Yeah, I'll see if I can dig out a recipe for you. I've got lots of recipes. I make lemon butter. I make like all sorts of stuff. I suppose because I've got so many chickens, I do tend to just, well, no, I don't have so. I used to have 6 chickens, and so I got used to having to go through a lot of eggs real fast. And then we went down to 3 chickens, and now we're keeping it at 3 because we like that number. I'm exceptionally suggestible today. I want lemon. Oh dear. Elaine's making sweet potato chili right now. Oh, hey Tanya. Hey Tanya, do you want sweet potato chili? Because I know I do. I don't think Sushi's going to cut it today for some reason. I might have to see what else there is on offer. Nerdy's eating strawberry ice cream because I feel stressed. Well, I mean, stress eating's not always the best, but if a little bowl of ice cream can help, then you know what? Eat a little bowl of ice cream is what I say. Just don't eat the whole tub because you might need some ice cream tomorrow. That's how I see it. I am not in any way a qualified psychologist. I should just throw that out there. No qualifications whatsoever. But sometimes just little things in life. I make lemon myrtle bath bombs. The smell is fantastic. Oh, wow. I bought Abby some little mini bath bombs because I'm too big for a bath. But she loves baths, so she has these little baths with bath bombs and stuff. Anyway, so I bought her these little bath bombs, and seriously, that was bad. So I might have to see if I can purchase one of your bath bombs to see how good it goes. Stacey says, I have 21 chickens. I seem to collect them. You got a bit more property than I am where you are, I would say. I'm only allowed to have a maximum of 6 because I'm still in a domestic block in Logan Council. And they're a bit funny about those rules. Yeah. And we try not to upset them too much. I mean, I already refused to pay to register my cats because they stay inside anyway, so they can get stuffed. I register the dogs. We keep under all the limits. We do everything properly, but I'm not going to pay them an extra $20 a year for each cat just so that they can be on some list somewhere when they're inside animals anyway. I don't take baths, but I make mini bombs and release them into a small dish in the bathroom just for the smell. Oh, that sounds nice too. I never thought of that, you know. Just releasing them just so I could have the smell, even though I can't have the bath. That's actually a really good idea, Tanya. So totally stealing that idea. And you can't stop me. I'm not sure, but they're only bantams. I've got a white one and 2 red ones, but they're not bantams for sure. They are definitely full-size chickens. The red ones aren't. I know they're not Isa Browns. They're too. They've got the wrong temperament. Yeah. But you know what? As long as none of your neighbours get upset, you'll be fine. Nerdy says, yeah, my cat isn't registered. She's indoors only. Yeah, I get a bit miffy with councils that, you know, you've got plenty of other things to deal with that, you know, the council needs to do. They don't need to be doing that. Tanya says, we have no pets. Oh, Tanya, you can live vicariously through mine. I noticed that my daughter has actually made an Instagram for our dog Snowy. It's called @Snowy the dog, Snowy the mini foxy, like SNOWYTHEMINIFOXIE. It might be a Y. I'll double check. I'll put a link somewhere. But Abby, you can live vicariously through that. We now have it's a cash grab. Oh, it's totally a cash grab. It's totally a cash grab. And look, I understand with the dogs, they need to work out who's got dogs and where, and I totally get that. And dogs are noisy and, you know, that sort of thing. But I don't get the cats. I just don't understand. If council could stop approving housing developments, that'd be grand. Look, I totally agree with you. We've got one up near us. It's called, what's it called? I call it Landslide. I can't remember what its real name is. But whenever there's a really, really major rain, like there was actually people evacuated because they built these things on these massive hills. You got a house here and a house here, and the house from here just slid down and sat on top of the other house. In Canada, the city actually sent code enforcer jerks door to door looking for unlicensed dogs. Yeah, look, our council does that as well. Like we got a letter from the council saying, hey, we noticed that there are 2 unlicensed dogs on your property. And I was just like, how did you notice? And they were like, oh, because we saw them. And it was just like, how did you see them? And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I agree, I do have dogs, and their regos are out of date. But well, what it was is one of the dogs was new. That's what it was. We'd only just gotten one of the dogs, so one registered and the other one wasn't. They noticed because they had walked up my 20-meter driveway and looked in my window. That's how they noticed, because I was out, and they so they opened the gate, entered my property, and looked into my house, because my dogs don't stay outside when I'm not home. I don't leave them out because they're little and barky. But anyway, so the council actually apologised for that, because their inspectors should never have entered my property without a complaint, and there were no complaints. So, winning. Is that Woodlands? Yes, it's Woodlands. That's the one. Allegra says they want to put 150 townhouses opposite. Ridiculous. No, and that's the thing. Like, that's the same problem we're having out here. We've got Yarra-Bilba, which is a bit further out, but there's 2 feeder roads, and neither of them can deal with the traffic. They build these developments, but there's no work out near the developments. The people have to get into the city to work. Anyway, sorry. Totally, like, I hate property developments like that. They are supposed to trespassing. Yeah, totally. Like, they are totally not allowed to enter your property unless there is a complaint or without you inviting them in. So, yeah, no complaints. So, we leave our dog inside when we're out too. Yeah, and that's the thing. What dog? I like that. My thing is, though, like, seriously, if they had have walked up the driveway and looked in the window, both dogs would have been at the window, like, barking at them. So there's 2 dogs barking at them. They would have seen them, but it wouldn't have been until they walked up the driveway. So they had to have already been in the property for them to notice it. But yeah, it was scungy, and I didn't sit down for it. I jumped up and down. My dog is inside or in the backyard, but he's microchipped and is licensed and is included with all. Yeah, look, both my dogs are microchipped, desexed. They're registered. But one of them we'd only had for like a short amount of time. Like we'd only literally had him for like maybe a week or something. And we hadn't gotten around to it. It's not like we weren't going to. We just hadn't done it yet. It wasn't like long term. It's not like we'd had him for 6 months or something. We'd only had him for a few weeks. She wears a council tag and is microchipped, but unlikely to let anybody... Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the same with our dogs. Everything's legit and good now. It wasn't when they first came round. But he'd only just had his microchips put in. Like, and that's the thing. I like getting my pets microchipped because if something happens, I'd like to know. Apparently you don't get new tags every year, just renewed Annie's rego and no new tags. So much for getting her a new collar. Have we had a new tag? Might be a different thing with your different councils. We get new tags. Or at least we did last year. Anyway, I don't know. Oh, hello. Where are you from? You're over there. That's all right. Look at this, you guys. Isn't that looking lovely without the 400 tails? Oh, don't look there. Don't look at that. There's tails there. This is great. Look, here's the tail pile. Tail pile. It wasn't even all of them. That was just what I scooped up. You don't pay a yearly fee here, I don't think. Oh, we totally do. Yearly annual fee. For de-sex dogs, it's like $20 or $30. For non-de-sex dogs, it's like $120 or $130. Oh, Stacey says no tags this year. Okay. There you go. So if you lose your tags, what happens? You have to go and pay the council for more. Because that's probably exactly what we'll have to do. Yeah, ours is annual. Every year, pay it to the council. You know, thanks council, because like I don't even know what you've been doing lately. Not in our area anyway. Like I see what they're doing in some of the other suburbs, and it's like, that's nice, that's great. Now what are you doing in my suburb again? Oh, that's right, nothing. I'm so salty about local councils. So salty. I've just tweeted Brisbane City Council to ask about getting a new tag. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I think you should totally, like, if you have to pay every year. Tanya says in New South, it depends on the dog if they aren't de-sexed. Oh, there you go. Mine are a little, so you have to show. You have to. I don't think we do rabies vaccinations here. It's ridiculous to think that a dog will wear the same collar for several years. See, our tags just slip onto the collar, so it's not a new collar. We have to supply our own collar, but there's a little plastic tag, and we just hook that onto the collar. Mowing would be nice. I know, that roadside mowing that they don't do, especially around like through Buchan and the back through there. I've got a girlfriend who lives at Buchan. She cannot see out past the council's land because of they haven't mowed. And like that was when the council changed over. She used to be with a different council, and the old council used to just do it automatically. And Logan came out and did it and said, "This is the last time we're doing it. From now on, it's your job." And she was just like, "Are you kidding me?" Nerdy says the license is free yearly if neutered or spayed. Oh, there you go. Ours aren't free. Ours are the locking ones. Oh, okay. Don't know. I've not seen those ones. I just get these little plastic round things with a number etched, like printed onto it. It looks really rubbish. I could maybe jimmy it off, but it'd be damaged. Oh, okay. Yeah, mine just slip off and on the collar because they're in a little loop, so I wouldn't need to damage it to get it off. Yeah, that's weird. But in saying that, that's also a good safety thing. So if someone gets your dog, it'd be hard for them to... Oh, I suppose I wouldn't care if they damaged... Oh, I think something just bit my arm. Got an ant, floating ants. I was listening to... every Tuesday, a new Dear Hank and John podcast comes out, and it's Hank and John Green, and it's sort of a really amusing sort of... What is it, about 45 minutes? And so... I listen to that sort of, I drop Abby off, she doesn't like it, so I drop her off and pop it on in the car. Now, talking about ants and about how if you've got ant hitchhikers and you take them somewhere else, there's a good chance that ant will be killed by other ants. They have a donation line as they use money for the animal shelters. No, these guys don't. The council just keeps it for themselves. They will probably have something that they say it's used for. I don't know what. They can just take they could just take the collar off. You're right. You're totally right. Hang on, let me just zhuzh this around a bit. I'm heading towards an outside edge. See how because at the moment I've got just a few more rows to do, but I ran out of green, then I ran out of this pink, so I'm on to another pink, and I'm hoping I can finish off with this brighter pink. I've got a whole ball. I'll just reach across here. Sorry, guys. I've got a whole ball of the brighter pink. It's 200 grams, so I'm hoping that it will do the job. Because it was technically a scrap blanket. It was using up all the leftover colours from Abby's blanket, but then it got bigger than I thought it would. And it's got a set number of stitches because otherwise you don't end up with a square at the outside because it goes in and out. So see how you've got all these in and out bits that go in and then out, and you know, like these extra little bits. And it's really cute. And I'll get some photos, like some up high photos, and show you later. But yeah, I'm nearly done. I'm so close to being done. It's not funny. Oh my gosh, you guys, we have totally just chin wagged straight through 11:30. Kim would be so proud of us if she was here. So you guys, I'm going to break off. I'm going to go, and I've got some orders to pack. And I'm going to go and get some lunch because my tummy is grumbling something fierce because of you guys talking about amazing things. And then we will catch up again next week. Now, just a couple of things to remember before I run away. Today is the last day for the Hugs and Kisses special 12 packs of blinglets. I know that says 11 there, but there's actually 12 in the pack. Hugs and Kisses colours. And then, so that's the last day for those today because it's my anniversary, and that's the close off. We went Valentine's Day to anniversary. I thought that was nice. The March, what do you call it? Mystery Lace Club is closed. April is open. And I think that was it. That was the last final points. So I'm going to scoot off. Actually, I'm just going to finish this last stitch because otherwise that's going to bug me and I won't do it. And I'll just leave a needle hanging in. The lunch need is real here too. Oh, I know, I'm so hungry. I'm not normally a person that gets very hungry. But when I'm fed regularly, because that's the problem, I don't normally feed myself regularly. But when I eat regularly, like when I'm away at camps and stuff like that, when they feed you 5 times a day, I get hungry. Whereas normally I don't. And so I'm not. Whereas I'm like Starvingtons. Starving to the station. Okay, on that note, you guys, I'll see you all next week. Be good. Get some chats happening over in the Fiberific Fun Zone. You guys have got heaps of things. But yeah, so just you've got heaps of things, lots of links. Tanya's going to put the link to her advent calendar up. And if anyone else has got any other business links, free for all over there today. So off you go. I'll see you later. Bye.